Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos. Another paid request this time for Broad Stipe. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Pretty much. Oh yeah, I also have a second YouTube channel for those who want to subscribe to that. And there's also a Odysee channel that has a lot of my older videos. Those links will be down below as well. Now, this is a review for Paintball from 2009, which there's been quite a few movies that have done this element of having weekend warrior paintballers and then things go haywire and things take a turn for the worst. In this case, you have about 8 people, give or take, that we first see in this truck, and via intercom we're kind of told who they are. They go in to do their paintball and stuff, but then one thing leads to another. There's some live ammo being used by the other folks. There seems to be a killer out there, and it becomes sort of a, at times like hostile and at times like other stuff. I was not a fan of this film. This film did not do much for me at all. For a number of reasons. I mean, number one, the way it's shot is trying to shoot in this documentary style where, you know, everything's bumping. And I can appreciate how earlier on the director tries to do a tracking shot as if it's done all in one take. But it's a lot of, you know, just holding the camcorder, whatever they were using. Might as well have been this camcorder and just following people. And it just, sometimes you just get a bit annoyed with it. Yes, there are films I liked that have that style. I'm not saying that's my favorite style of movies. Like Battle of Los Angeles, I really enjoy it. The movie. Did it need to have that style? I don't think so, but I still really enjoy that movie. You know, there's other movies as well. But this, I don't think it needed it. But sadly, that's the least of this film's worries. And if you heard my stomach, it knows what's coming. Because it sat here with me watching this thing. This stinks. This what stinks. The characters. You don't know squat about the characters because it does no job of developing the characters. Here's 8 people, and the intercom you can like barely hear because you have the sound of the truck going and whatever it's bouncing on, and like you have to listen closely. Even then, it's like rushing through. This is this person, and you're a gunner. This is this person, you're the captain. This is this person, and that's all you know of the characters. And if you were to quiz me on any more of these characters, I couldn't. The most is the commander guy. He's pretty two-faced. The one lady who becomes our lead. I'm literally searching here for anything to say, and because of that, you don't care about the characters. They've done no job developing them. They've done no job. I mean, here's the thing. You can do that without sitting down and talking for 10 minutes about Backdrop. A film that did that well, Southern Comfort. You look at Southern Comfort with, rest in peace, Powers Booth and Fred Ward and one of the Carradines, is it? Oh, God. Not David, not Robert. Keith Carradine, I believe? I'm bad with names. But Walter Hill did a good job establishing the vibe of each of these folks. You know, Powers Booth is the new guy in the group. He has this tough, strong stance. Keith Carradine, he's kind of the guy everybody likes, but he's easygoing. He minds his own business. You have the guy who's a bit more stickler to the rules and wants to be the commander, but no one respects him. You have the actual commander, played by Peter Coyote. You have the guy who's a bit more cautious and religious. It doesn't spend 20 minutes sitting down at a campfire. This is my backstory. But you get who they are. Plus, it doesn't help that they wear all these outfits in the movie, so you sometimes maybe you can't tell them apart. Who's that person with the mask on? And they all have pretty much the same outfits. So you can't tell them apart. and there's not much of discerning personalities between them. Again, the most I get is the commander, who's a bit two-faced, which I'll get to why in a minute. You have the bigger guy, who I guess is the more scared guy, and not a whole lot other than that. So, and then because of that, you don't care what happens. You don't care what's going on. I mean, you barely know their names. So as the movie goes on, there's smoke grenades and live ammo being used, and they realize it. And they get knocked off one by one. And also with the violence, they do this thing where a lot of times when the violence ultimately happens, the POV of the killer is seen, but he's using some type of, I don't know if it's, I guess, thermal imaging? Not infrared, not like Predator, but everything looks white. So I think that's thermal imaging. I don't know if it's white phosphor, or I don't remember the technical terms for it, but they call it thermal imaging. But it's one of those that everything looks white and gray, that point of view. And he'll kill the person, and you see the person's blood and stuff, but it's done this thermal imaging quality. And I guess it depends how you feel about that. I think maybe that could work once, but not each time. When it's doing each time, I go, oh, okay. It just, you kind of lose the impact because you're not seeing a lot of the red color. Just each time as you see this white, and like I said, maybe once or twice, but each time, I don't know, it kind of loses its effect. And I tell you, the effect, it pisses me off. That's the effect. And there are times where it gets needlessly confusing. Like, the group is there, and I think one person gets killed and shot, and I don't know who that person was, so I have no impact emotionally. Then they're going off, and then there's another person fried at a fence. I'm like, who's that? Is that one of the group? Is that the other group? Do all the other group not realize they're shooting live ammo? Or who's that? Like, someone tell me, who's the guy fried up at the fence? I don't know. I'm like, was that part of the group? Well, I counted 8, and now I don't think it is. I should not be asking questions like that. That takes me out of the movie. I'm no longer interested in your story or whatever you're telling. Now I'm just confused. And it's needlessly confusing. As dumb or blunt as it is, even if someone goes, who's that? If they did, I could barely tell because of the audio. The kills... And that's a spoiler. I'll go into spoilers, screw it. Like always. Some of the kills, like there's a guy tied up upside down, and the commander comes in, could easily take him down. You just cut the rope, but he doesn't. I don't know why. I mean, I could just say he doesn't have a knife to be fair, but you could just untie it or do something. Find a sharp rock or anything. Instead, he steals the guy's bulletproof vest. And he's a guy that also will turn on other teammates in order to save his own skin. I get it. There are people that will do that during an intense situation, and they'll save... Their plan is called Save Ass, as in save their own ass. But because we don't know much about him, we just go, okay, I guess he's just an asshole, that character. Okay, I guess that's just the case. So I don't really feel much of other effect to it. So the killer comes up to this person, and they did this thing where they take a gun, like a bayonet or something, and they drop the guy onto it as far away. And like, okay, that with the thermal imaging, I don't mind. Just you drop a body onto that, and it's done. It could look maybe, there's probably CGI manipulation, it could look goofy, but because it's done thermal imaging, Okay, it looks kind of neat and different. And maybe one more should have just been the thermal imaging look. Each time gets and feels redundant. And then there's one part where they're supposed to go to flags, catch the flag. Each flag has a little suitcase they open up. There's another piece, which you come to find out is to put into a gun. But then that becomes pointless because it doesn't work at the end, so whatever. So at one point there's a machete found, and our lead character, I could assume, the only reason I knew she was the lead character is because she was the last one to survive. So, there you go. She stabbed someone accidentally. It took me a full few minutes to realize she wasn't the person she stabbed. I thought it was one of her teammates, and it's not. It's like a part of another team or something. And it took me a few minutes just to realize that. That is not how it should be done, movie. That's not how it works. I shouldn't be confused for 5 minutes going, who is that person she stabbed? Oh, it's another team? How many were on that team? Okay, her hubby or boyfriend doesn't speak English, and that's done because then they don't know if he's with the bad guys or is a bad guy or an innocent. How many were on this opposing team? Was it just the couple? Was that person who was fried at the fence? Was they? I mean, I don't know, because it does not do a good job establishing that. Sorry, but it doesn't. Now, I will say at times there's an interesting shot done by the director. Like I said, the Y shot in Thermal where the guy's upside down and the killer's put like the bayonet and the guy falls. That's kind of an interesting shot in Kill. There's another bit where there's a lady running, and there's another bit where the thermal imaging worked, where we see she's pounding on the floor, but then when he appears through his point of view, we see his thermal imaging and we go, oh wow, there's people underneath that floor watching them. That was a nice reveal. Because then you think she's pounding on the floor, it looks like this glass or something, but then his POV thermal imaging sees her and looks down, we see like 4 or 5 people watching them. Okay. Like, that was a nice looking shot. And you come to find out it's this hostile situation where people pay, in this point, to watch a snuff film being made. It's a group of, I don't know if they were Eastern European. I mean, they all had accents. I didn't know if they were Russian or I can't recognize the accent. I'm not good with that. And they bid on who's going to live and put on a show, and they're watching because there's all these cameras around. So it is like do a bit of a hostile thing. Again, the people do dumb decisions, like the guy, the bigger guy gets scared and he runs off from the group as if that would make things better. Yeah, running off from the group. There's a bit where there's 4 left and say, well, there's 2 flags, we need to get to them, let's split up. Because that always works when you split up. It's like Scooby-Doo. Never works when you split up. Look for clues. Why you split? So of course they split up and it gets to be the worst of the worst. Just super spoilers. 2 of them find the bigger guy like trapped in this, I think it was a row of bear traps, and then the guy, the commander, is Two-Face and pushes the girl into a trap. I don't even know why he did that, because they could have just overstepped it and get the suitcase and move on. And I'd rather have someone, another hand, with me than just to push him in a trap for no reason. You just go, hey, we can't move you, we'll come back for help, or blah blah blah. or say, listen, if you want to help them, you do your thing. I'm going to go on and lead them as live bait. If you're such a two-time and steaming dick. The killer POV, I guess because he got shot in the face with some paintballs, now he's really upset and it hurt his pride. So he goes against stripped of the people who paid him. So he wasn't supposed to kill this girl this way, but he kicks her down a pit. He was supposed to kill this guy with a mine, but he just beats him with the end of the butt of a gun. He fights a two-time and steaming commander, which the guy knows he's pinned down by bullets, so he does the smart thing of trying to run for it. I'm like, dude, wait for the guy to run out of ammo or something. Or when you run, you're like taking your sweet ass time, so he gets wounded. And then he tries to be Billy Baz to fight, and the killer like kills him in one blow, or like cuts him in one blow. And I just puts these mines, but I don't know what kind of mines they are, because whether they're a mine, I think it's going to blow up the whole thing. No. Puts it under the bulletproof vest, and then puts like one or two more. And it's in that same thermal imaging, so you just see this white, it's supposed to be the blood, white. That's why it's like, okay, this is getting a bit old, this thermal imaging. I guess it's a way to save on the budget. Or I don't know, because, hey, if the blood doesn't look great, oh well, it doesn't matter. It's going to be this thermal bit anyway. And then the other two that were split up, the one guy who all I can say he's the black guy, because I don't know any other way to describe him. Because he has no name. He probably does have a name, but I don't remember it, because they didn't barely showcase it. It's at the beginning with this off intercom. And then he just killed off. I don't even know how he just killed off. It's dark. You don't see anything. You hear gurgling. I don't even remember how he died. I don't even remember if we see his body afterward. So I don't even know what happened. So then the lead girl gets to this hideout, trying to have a one-on-one with the killer. The lady mentions, because she found these folders, hey, you're on the list too, so they don't care about you too, so they're expecting all of us to die. She gets all the parts for the gun, but it doesn't work. And pretty much all she does is just tackle him. They go out the window, whatever. Find out the guy's been impaled. The lady's alive, and the bad guys go, if you tell anyone about this, to live or not to live is up to you. Don't tell anyone about this. So she walks off, but then you have this last shot. I have no idea. I have no idea what it means. I have no idea what the purpose is. She's running across the railroad track, and the camera's like moving around as if it's Evil Dead. And she's running, and she turns and goes, ah, like screams into the camera. I'm like, what, did a train hit her and she was too stupid to go off the track? Is she just having an Incredible Hulk moment? Like, ah, like, what is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to... What is that supposed to... What? 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 What is that supposed to mean? What is it supposed to do? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. What's it supposed to mean? I don't know. What is the purpose of this? So it's not that exciting unless you want to have a lot of people running around the woods with a herky-jerky documentary camera where you don't know who anybody is and there's no reason to root for. There's no reason to like them. They're either whining, complaining, yelling, screaming, giving away their positions, or running off, or splitting up to search for clues. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? The paintball, go get you now. You want to see, I mean, it's not a great movie, but you want to see a movie that details with paintball stuff, go watch Tag, the Assassination Game. It's not a great movie, but it's better than this. I think Linda Hamilton was in it back in the day, and I think Robert Carradine. It's been a while since I've seen it. Yeah, it's that great one, but Tag. Or you know what? I forget. Was it Paintball? Was it Darts? I was thinking of Gotcha. Gotcha. Which I know is far away from this, but I'm just thinking of movies that are better. But yeah. With that said, I don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.